Alright, this is a video on sumac. And this is on the leaves and the bark and the stems or twigs. The new shoots. Now this is the berries. They're still green, and we'll do another video on the berries. We'll make a drink out of them. But this one is on the medicinal uses and the edibility of the sumac. Now the sumac, you can take the young leaves, or the young stems rather. I don't want that one. You can take the young stems, and if they're green all the way through, then they're edible. Now if they have an off-white look to them on the inside, then they're going to be woody. But if you catch them early enough and young enough, they'll be green all the way through, and they will be edible. And you can, if it lets you, you can scrape some of that outer layer off and then eat it. If not, then do the best you can. But it is an excellent survival food. You rip the leaves off of it, try to scrape some of the outer layer off, and eat it. That is the young shoots and the young twigs or stems. Pull the leaves off, scrape some of the outer layer off, and go to eating. All right, the younger the better. Don't eat the older ones, they're too woody. Anyway, so excellent survival food. And the medicinal uses of this plant, we'll talk about the leaves first. Okay, now these leaves can be done just like the mullein leaf. They can be dried and smoked. And you breathe in that smoke, and it is excellent for the lungs in treating asthma, bronchitis, and coughs. Excellent. Or you can make a tea out of it, and it does the same thing, treats asthma, bronchitis, and coughs. The tea, leaf tea, also treats dysentery, diarrhea, IBS, anything to do with the bowels, the urinary tract, the intestines. It is excellent for treating that. The bark is the same way, minus the asthma. You do not smoke the bark, you make a tea out of the bark. It doesn't help with asthma, but everything else. It will help with dysentery, diarrhea. Just look at the bark. Dysentery, diarrhea, and excellent for the mouth. The leaves and the bark are excellent for the mouth, for mouth sores, gum disease, mouth ulcers, stuff like that. Excellent for it, treats it, helps it out. That's it. Leaves and bark, excellent. Stems, little twigs, rip the leaves off, scrape some of the outer layer off, and it is a wild edible. Of course, you can make a drink out of the berries, but we'll do that later. And berries have got to get red. Anyway. All right, so the tea, or the leaves, can be dried and made into a tea or smoked to help asthma. The tea also of the leaves can be used to treat mouth sores, ulcers, gum disease, any kind of mouth disease. It also is good for dysentery, diarrhea, intestinal problems, the urinary tract. Same with the bark. Bark does the same thing. The bark will not help with asthma, but there is one thing that the bark will help with that the leaves do not, and that is helping to reduce a fever. The bark will help to reduce a fever. And the root is a good diuretic, and that's about it with the root. Just a good diuretic, make a tea out of the root. And it's a good diuretic anyway. That is it with the sumac, and I'm not an expert, so you need to consult with a local expert before you go eating anything or using anything for medicine. And this is the dwarf sumac. There is the smooth, the staghorn, poison, shiny, all sumacs. The poison sumac, though, you probably won't come across it. Very unlikely, but it has white berries, and it is not edible or medicinal. But I do believe all the other sumacs are pretty much the same as far as edibility and medicinal goes. So anyway, we will see you on the next one.